Hello everybody, how are you going? Well, welcome to TikToks only Canadians will understand, or at least TikToks that make the rest of the world go, what?
Well, people keep sending me this meme on the Instagram DMs. They're wondering if this is fact or cap, if Canadians actually buy our peanut butter like this.
What?
And
It's like
come on, are you guys serious?
peanut butter?
Of course this is a fact.
Yes.
You guys don't buy your peanut butter like this? It comes in nice little trays with saran wrap on it. We put it in the fridge. It gets nice and brittle. You can break off chunks, put it on your toast. It melts, and it's perfect. If you're buying your peanut butter any way besides this, you're doing it wrong.
That is kind of the perfect way to do it, at least from his explanation, going you just put it in the fridge or maybe the freezer and then you just break it off. I wouldn't have thought that putting it in the fridge is going to be cold enough just to be able to snap it off, but then for it to just instantly be able to warm back up and melt on your toast. I mean, I guess you are going to be running the risk of cooling down the toast too much, but still, to be having it like that, it does seem like it has some pros. Like bagged milk, besides the odd kind of on knife's edge argument, I can't really get behind it, where this seems to be making a little bit more sense. You know, you're not really ever spreading milk around, not like peanut butter. The only thing I would say that though, how are you going to kind of long-term store it? I guess it's in the fridge. I just feel like once it's open in this regard, or at least with a jar, you can kind of reclose it and at least be lulled into the idea that it's resealed and nothing can really get into it, where that seems like a bit more of a hassle. And then you're also storing it in the fridge, which is fridge space, compared to a lot of people which are just going to be storing it in the cupboard if it's in a jar. So pros and cons, but the fact that you can just break it off, if that's true, and it's cheaper maybe, or if it's more expensive or at least the same, I can understand people liking that. Canadians in their cars during September in the morning. Ooh, heated steering wheel. Both seated heats on for some reason, turning up the temperature. My goodness, cranking it.
It's so hot.
Oh no. Oh, true, in September, right, you're having these massive swings. Oh, cool it down, back to AC. Jeez, these poor cars having the ride of their life, just going, hang on a second, we just warmed up for you. Now that we're warm, you want to cool back down. Why would you possibly? Oh, okay, actually it has gone from minus 20 to 45 degrees. Yeah, I guess that does make sense. I mean, of course, something like this is going to be a little bit location specific, because I can't imagine that in September, in most places, it's getting too cold. I mean, it certainly doesn't seem to be too rugged up. And so you're not in this huge puffer jacket yet, and you're not going to be just going, well, is a blizzard going to come and trap us in the snow for the next 2 days? It's not quite that weather yet, but I guess in some places, I mean, I guess if you're up north all the time, but I guess in some places it's going to be quite cold, and others, you're going to be still pretty fine. You're just getting a little bit soft. You're not quite ready for winter yet.
Canadians are calling out a popular brand of pasta sauce for another case of shrinkflation.
How much smaller?
Went shopping for some sauce recently.
Okay.
Thought, oh, look. Classico changed their labels. That's so nice. Nope.
Oh, okay.
It's shrinkflation.
How much though? $6.50?
600.
Okay,
The Ontario-based
that's 10%
TikToker
smaller.
in Guelph posted the video showing that Classico is now selling their pasta sauce for the same price,
Yeah,
but
okay,
you get
that's what I was
50
wondering.
milliliters less, and this is far from the first case of shrinkflation we've seen in Canada.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense from an overall point of view to try and to be tricking the customers into doing that. It's such a two-minded thing, because I can understand why the business wants to do it, because you're trying to get away with it. So of course they're trying to do it. But then at least in this case, it wasn't crazy. Like you see some biscuits, like let's say in Australia there was a major case of Tim Tams going from, I think it was 12 to 11 and then to 10, or 13 to 12 biscuits per packet, and that's just because they made the space between each biscuit in the tray slightly bigger. Of course, otherwise the rest of the price and everything else stayed the same. It was just that all of a sudden people had just had their 12 pack reduced to a 10 pack or 11 pack, and it was the end of the world. And I guess by those metrics it is kind of, call it 10% between the jars here and Tim Tams there. And so I can understand how people do feel ripped off, because they, even just if you were used to doing 650 mils in your recipe and now you feel like you can't do it, it's just not as saucy as it once was, you can see it. But the only thing that makes me question the entire psychology behind this is surely they have the data to know people would rather kind of be tricked into the shrinkflation versus just charged more for the same item. Let's say it was $4 before and then it goes to $4.50, or I guess we're seeing $8.50 in the background. Let's say it went to $8.99. Would people rather that compared to this, compared to being tricked? I mean, I feel like people would rather that if they find out, but otherwise there is a whole boatload of people that are never going to be finding out. They're never going to really realize, because how many people actually have 2 jars of the same thing? And especially when you change the label at the same time, that is where I think it gets extra sneaky. But man, I can understand why people get so frustrated by it. And I can also understand why the businesses love it, because it's such an easy way to just go about it. As once you get to the end of all your, I don't know, jars, labels and everything out, your millions of back orders there. But does it just extra hurt when you're just going, oh, I just knew it. I knew I was right. Something was off and it's the same price. How Canadians sound to non-Canadians, surely.
Hey there, friend.
Oh, hey, how's it going, buddy?
Yeah, do you know how to get to this building here?
Oh, the Beaver Dome. Hell yeah.
It's this way, huh?
Yeah, okay, so you're going to want to go about 2 clicks that way past the Tims. You're going to get to a traffic circle and take a Ricky. Then you're going to go about another click, take a Leahy at the next one. You should see a purple house on your left. That's not quite there yet. 5 more clicks should put you right about there, bud.
Yeah, but...
Sounds about right.
Oh, yeah, of course. If you get to the Canadian Tire with a chip truck in the lot, you've gone way too far. You got to turn around and come back. But, honestly, Lieutenant, that chip truck's pretty not bad, bud. Might be worth a rip.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, have a good one.
Oh, is that it?
What the...
Oh,
Just...
poor
Hey,
fella.
hey, can you help me find this address?
Oui, hello. Quelle adresse?
Nope.
He's just going to try his luck and just go all the way to the chip place, which is apparently going to be, well, surely serving poutine there. There's no way that it's not going to be. If it's just going to be a chip truck in the middle of the car park, that's probably still some of the best poutine in the entire country. To be fair to him, though, there was nothing there that completely threw me off. He was talking about clicks. Sure, you got kilometers, you got purple houses. Sure, that's just literally what it is. And so he went through the entire very detailed explanation about how to get to the Beaver Dome. I mean, I did love the render, but still, it wasn't anything that was misleading. There was no non-English until the very end. And so overall, as long as you can follow it and just make a couple of assumptions, you should be able to get there. And so for him to be sitting in his truck and going, I don't really understand what the hell I just listened to. Come on now, you're right there. If you're pretending that you're from the USA, you're right there. You should be able to just understand them.
You look at like Canadians, and a lot of people are like, oh, Canadians are so nice. And it's like, think about how difficult life was in Canada. Like, yeah, your neighbor's going to be nice to you when your life is dependent on it.
Yeah, it's
Fair
negative
enough.
90 outside.
90 degrees. We all have a cattle farm or horses, and the hay isn't there, and we need to feed them. I need to be able to go to you and be like, hey, do you have some hay? Because all my cattle are going to die. That's going to create some kindness.
That's actually a very, very nice sentiment about the entire thing. I mean, you would wish that kind of harsh conditions don't harden people in that regard, like can actually strengthen bonds, communities, and all those kind of things. And as much as there is so much other crap that comes out of these two at the same time, it's a nice sentiment. I can certainly get behind the idea that that would be a thing. I mean, it's not necessarily a thing, and I feel like half of Canadians being nice is just to spite the USA to prove to people that they're not from the USA, but still, whatever it is, just a little bit more niceness in the world for whatever reason can go a long way.
We're Canadian teachers.
teacher
Of course we can't hang things on our walls or ceilings.
What?
We're Canadian teachers. We need our Tim Hortons to get us through the day.
Fair
We're
enough.
Canadian
A
teachers.
couple of Timbits.
Of course we know not to expect a snow day when it snows.
We're Canadian teachers. Of course the whole school reorgs 30 days after the first day of school.
We're Canadian teachers. Of
Was that
course
real?
we have bronchitis 6 months out of the year. Keep it down, kids.
'Cause there's
We're
so many
Canadian
kids.
teachers. Of course, we have more students than desks in our class.
We're Canadian teachers. Of course we teach 9 subjects.
Yeah, naturally. I mean, I guess it does depend if you're teaching primary school, high school, or middle school, if that's going to be a thing. As most of primary school is going to be just teaching everything, whereas high school, you at least are generally expected to be a little bit more specialized, surely. I mean, I certainly hope so. Otherwise, high school is going to be a little bit tough for a lot of people, or you were getting some insanely highly qualified people that have done highly specialized degrees in multiple fields that are then also not getting paid to have 7 degrees. But no, overall, there was a couple of things that certainly surprised me. Like, why can't you hang things on the wall? But then apparently she has hung something on the wall, but then nothing on the ceiling. That doesn't make any sense. Is it a liability thing so things don't fall down and hit people? Probably. That's the only thing I can think of, which is a little bit sad, to be honest. And no wonder you're going to need your Tim Hortons and your Timbits and all those kind of things to be able to get you through the day. Otherwise, it's going to be a brutally cold snow day that is the snow day. Everyone just, like an island, you see these videos, just people just, oh yeah, going to school, but no worries. Just off in the middle of a snowstorm. Whereas if it was anywhere else in the world, you would just go, no, I'm not making it. What are you talking about? How am I meant to drive anywhere? How am I meant to walk anywhere? It's just snowing outside. Are you crazy? I might freeze to death if I even leave the comfort of my house. Also, if anyone would like to explain what reorbs is, I would love to know. Of course, the whole school reorbs 30 days after the first day of school. Is that reorganizes? Like you get assigned a classroom and then you go to a different classroom, or you get assigned a class and then you go to a different class? I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know how that would be working. I don't know why it would be a thing. 30 days after the first day of school. I've never heard of such a thing, so please enlighten me.
We're Canadians. Of course we have these gloves.
Are they
We're chameleons.
gloves?
We like to change our colors so we can blend in with the environment and hide from potential predators.
What did he say?
That's not how we're playing.
What did...
We're Canadians. We all actually hate Tim Hortons, but we won't admit it.
We're chameleons. We have very long, sticky tongues so we can catch flies.
Yeah, I did hear
Okay, I'm going to stop you. I don't think you're getting it. Okay, enough about the chameleons.
What's wrong with the chameleons?
We're doing this on Canadians.
I thought you were saying chameleons the whole time.
No, I'm saying Canadians.
Okay,
But
fine,
it's
I'll do
good
it on
fact.
You really
Canadians.
can't work with us.
Okay, sorry.
We're Canadians. Of course you could punch us in the face, but we'll apologize to you. Okay, we're doing Canadians.
Okay, Canadians, I get it. We're Canadians. Most of us have never seen a chameleon in the wild because they're used to warm, humid environments, and here it's quite cold.
Are you serious? Canadians.
Oh,
You
poor
said Canadians. I
fella
just-
just loves his chameleons. There's nothing else you can do about it, girl. I don't care if you've got your gloves, if you've got your Tim Hortons, whether you like it or not. He is in and locked on to the chameleons. Nothing you can do about it. It is as simple as that. And to be honest, it's kind of refreshing, or at least makes sense, as he's saying that you don't have chameleons. And so, of course, you might be interested in what you don't know. That is natural as well. To be playing along with a video, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but he got there in the end, and he wasn't wrong. We're Canadians. Of course we don't know about chameleons. That's not what lives here. If you said about beavers, or you said about moose, you said about anything like that, we got you covered. But that's why he's interested in chameleons, not gloves.
Here's what some Canadian cities are known for. Toronto is known for its multiculturalism, Drake, and the CN Tower. Montreal is the largest French-speaking city in North America. Vancouver is known for Hollywood North, rain, and expensive real estate. Calgary is known for its famous Calgary Stampede. Edmonton is known for West Edmonton Mall and the Oilers. Halifax is known for all the seafood and friendly people. Ottawa is just politics and nothing else. Saskatoon is known for the cold and being surrounded by farmland.
Yeah, overall, from what I know, they definitely line up, but there was a couple in there that I've never really heard of. Like, what was the Stampede? The Calgary Stampede? I like how it's even a separate line. Famous Stampede. What is that? Why is it in a big arena? Well, I've never heard of it, and I don't know how I've never heard of it, considering it's apparently what an entire city, being Calgary, is known for. I mean, I know that Calgary's in the middle of nowhere, and so if you want to be getting some cheap real estate, unlike Vancouver, that's maybe where you want to be going. But otherwise, I've never heard of a Stampede. I mean, even the Oilers I've heard of, compared to the West Edmonton Mall. How is a mall what you're known for? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Normal Halloween?
Trick or
What's
treat.
normal Halloween?
Aw, aren't you cute, a little baseball player? Happy Halloween.
That's a dress up? It's a baseball player? Canadian Halloween? Oh.
Trick or treat.
Fighting for your life out there. Oh.
And what are you, sweetie?
Surviving.
I don't even know what I'm supposed to be anymore. I'm somehow sweating and freezing. Just please give me some candy so I can go home.
Here you go.
Take your one thing and maybe just put an extra large jersey over the top of it. Then you can be a baseball player still as well. Get some comically sized hat to put over that hood. But man, I can understand if you're going all the way to the end of October, it's going to be getting pretty chilly. Considering in September, we saw that the weather fluctuates between cold and hot. But a month and a half later, you are going to be having some problems. But like I said, you're not dressing up as anything besides surviving. And there is nothing else you need to be dressing up as long as you were just getting out there and enjoying your time with your friends. Surely, you're working up an appetite, you're working up the sugar ability to be consumed just by being out in the cold. The amount of energy that it's taking just to keep that furnace going, I reckon you need it a little bit more than the baseball player does. Sometimes I hate being Canadian. A teacher told me to wait before going inside because of Oh Canada. See, this is something that I'm never going to be able to just get out of. Like the fact that North America overall, like I always thought it was a USA thing, but North America overall do the national anthem in the mornings of every school day is strange. I mean, the USA has the Pledge of Allegiance, and I don't believe Canada has anything like that. And also, I do believe that Canada has a little bit more involvement with recognition of Indigenous peoples, and Australia has that as well, but we don't do it every morning. We would do it at every assembly or public announcement or things like that, compared to just having to be told to wait outside before you go to your class, or I don't know if you do roll call or anything like that, just because the national anthem is going. Like, you just freeze in the halls. And I've seen TikToks and everything else before where people are just trying to slowly creep away or creep to their class, whatever it may be, just to try and make it kind of on time, because they get in trouble if they're on time because they moved, and they get in trouble if they're late because they didn't move or they weren't allowed to move. So you just cannot win. You have to be 45 minutes early. And considering school in North America starts too early as it is, like 7:30, an hour and a half before Australian schools, at 9, basically 8:30 for some, but 9 o'clock basically on the dot for everyone else, that's pretty brutal.
We don't have earthquakes, we don't have hurricanes, we don't have alligators. We don't have earthquakes, we don't have hurricanes, we don't have alligators. We don't have earthquakes, we don't have...
To be fair, that is a pretty good thing to be teaching yourself or telling yourself, just going, hang on a minute, maybe I need a little bit of a perspective check here. As much as it may suck to be shoveling the snow every single day, at least you don't have earthquakes and snow, because that could lead a whole bundle of problems, and it's just a little bit unfair in the natural order of things. And I'm also glad that you don't have frozen snow alligators or something like that. I'm like, yes, some people, unless you're living in Florida or the Northern Territory, you are going to be having crocodiles and alligators every single day. Most people don't have that kind of stuff every day, and certainly I hope that most people don't have earthquakes every day, whereas every single day to be shoveling your driveway, your stairs, your front path, your everything else, and be worried about snow overall, it just seems like such an effort, and I don't know if I would really be prepared for it. I feel like I could mentally prepare for it and get there, and 3 days in, I would just be so over it, just so over it instantly. And I'm sure everyone is, but if that's where you live, you don't really have much choice, and so you just tell yourself that over and over and over and over and over again. But man, does it seem like it sucks. I don't envy that part at all. People that might be really good at skating, skiing, all that great winter activities, they were invented to counteract the negative aspect of it. There's nothing else you can say to that. It has to be the case, because there's no other reason that anyone would live there. And yes, people have spread out for all eternity, but man, some places do just have it rougher than others.